We received around 2,000 plus applicants for this program, and we selected a very handful of few. And once they were done with the project, we had a very hard time evaluating the students. But eventually, jury panelists were able to do the Herculean task somehow. So, a little note about DIYA: we do it yourself academy are into robotics, 3D printing, industrial automation, and AI education for school and college going students to develop their 21st century skills using industry oriented and internationally certified curriculum. So, the professional experience of our team members varies from 2 plus to 30 plus years, and we are a tech-driven company, which is technology, attitude, and process. And at this helm, we have Mr. Uday Shankar, who has who's been the captain of this idea vessel and has been a very enormous support to steer our company towards the right path and bringing all sorts of development and consistent growth to the immediate community around us. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce him. Sir, I'll let you have a few words.
Thank you, Pranav. First and foremost, I take this opportunity to thank Intel for trusting us and working with us on one of the key goals as set by UN in terms of women empowerment and diversity, to ensure that there is consistent growth in the percentage of women getting into technology careers. And always we know that our institutions are the foundation for our future, and very thoughtful of Intel to ensure that we are enabling the students right from the colleges, the institutions, so that they get to understand what is it that the industry is expecting of us. What is it the world around us is looking for? How is technology transforming careers, jobs, professions? Now, how can an individual impact lives around the world? And that's what Dell has been doing. There's not a day that passes by without us using something from Intel, right? So similarly, it's very nice and thoughtful of an industry giant to join hands with us to ensure that there is a grassroots level impact. To ensure that this impact is measured and it is consistent, the entire process has been outlined in such a way that all the projects that students take up will find relevance in real time. Second, as part of the complete implementation plan, it has been ensured that there has been a lot of exercises, a lot of problem statements for students to solve by themselves so that they get to implement what they've learned. Because the best way to learn is by doing, and the even better way to learn is by teaching. So, as part of this entire program, towards the end, we've had the best of the performers. The students have shown keen interest to come present the projects to us so that we can understand how much of an impact two passionate organizations have brought onto the future of our country. Because students of today are going to be pillars of the future. And once again, I conclude by thanking Intel for joining hands with us for making students future ready. Thank you so much, and back to Pranav.
Thanks, sir. That was a wonderful explanation. I'd also like to take this opportunity to introduce our COO, Ms. Latika ma'am. With over 30 years of corporate experience, she's mentored and enabled a lot of students from difficult times. She's the guiding light for us here at DIYA, and she's been able to support us in all sorts and regards. And unfortunately, she's not here with us at the meeting. So moving on. About Intel, as it's already been said, this is a diversion and inclusivity program for Intel, and it's intended to empower women students for their representation in STEM fields. We thank Intel and appreciate their directives and steps they have taken. Our chief guest for today of our honor is Ms. Shweta Chakravarti, and she's the Senior Director and Chief of Staff at Intel. And she's here with us today with 18 plus years of experience in the software domain, and and she's been working for more than a decade at Intel. So I'll let you, ma'am, share a few words with us and some words of wisdom. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Frankly, you know, when you introduce me as chief guest or some, you know, big names like that, there is a little girl inside me who was, you know, 5 years old And that little girl still is there, and she's giggling because she can't believe that this is what is happening, right? And that she grew up to be this. But of course, my journey still continues, and I'm extremely honored to be representing Intel here. And I'm so glad that I'm invited to see something so wonderful by students who are working and who are, making these great strides in the field of STEM. Uh, I was told that this partnership with DIYA started last year, and I'm so happy to see that, within a year, it is such an amazing partnership that we've had, and we've had hundreds of students educated. This is not a small thing, right? It means a lot. Every student that comes out of this program means a lot to the society, means a lot to women around the world. And I'm so glad to see how this connection between corporates and the universities is getting bridged in a meaningful way, right? So when you guys come out of your studying and get into the, you're actually ready for the real world. And that is actually an amazing thing that's happening. It's a great effort, right? And of course, as we go on, I would love to see, this program continue, and for us to work in various areas. Intel has a large diversity population. We have many women in VLSI, FPGA, cloud areas, software, edge. And it's great that we are now being able to hold hands with the society to bring more and more of women into this field, because STEM as a field uh, is very important to be focused upon, not just because we are a technology company, but also because if you see the way the world is functioning today, science, technology, engineering, and math, right? If you look at this, these four areas are pretty much powering the whole world. Whether you pick, the field of medicine, you see how technology is affecting it. You pick the field of, childcare, you see how technology is affecting it. You pick the world of fashion, you see how engineering is affecting it. So you see that every field, there's no field in the world that STEM is leaving untouched, which means it's a gold mine area which needs different thoughts. And having diversity, which is both men, women of very different thoughts, and every other gender included, is extremely important for us, right? Because that's when we will look at things in a very different perspective.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for this ceremony. My name is Melta Pacheco, and I'm currently pursuing Bachelor's of Engineering in Computers at Path Kosna College of Engineering, Goa. Firstly, I would love to share my experience with DIYA. I was looking forward for this workshop, and it exceeded my expectations. It exposed me concepts of ML, data classification, data clustering, model testing, using which I have made a project, developed a model that will predict the price range of mobile phones based on specific requirements. Here are a few things that we are going to look upon. COVID-19 affected most of us depending upon our status. While some tried adapting online working, homeschooling their kids, ordering food, shopping, mobile became an important requirement. So people often fail to make correct decision because of the non-availability of resources to cross-check the price that they pay. So to address this issue, I have developed this model. The basic features that we look upon while before purchasing a phone is the camera for photography, a display for better viewing experience, memory for storage, and battery for to last longer. Here are the implementation starts with basically data collection. I have collected my data from Kaggle, after which we do data pre-processing because data is noisy, and to make it consistent we need to discard some values, and this is what I have done here. So as you can see here, all non-null values are there, so I can move forward. In this, I have found a correlationship between my training data. Here, lighter the color, better is the relationship. So as you can see, the price range is having a really good relationship with pixel height, pixel width, RAM, and that is what we are going to see in the further slides, the relationship between price range and battery power. So as you can see, this bar plot is of a shorter height as compared to this one, because the zeroth category phones, that are the ones that are less than 10K, have low battery power as compared to the ones that are above 30K and belong to the third category. The same thing follows for pixel height and pixel width. The third key category phones have better pixel height and pixel width. The same thing is followed by RAM too. The more price you pay, the better RAM you get. Here is something that excited me, because as you can see, the second category has a height taller than the one in the fourth category. That's because 4G phones have come in the picture, and if you are looking out for 3G phones, you will have to buy in the range 20 to 30K. And 4G, as expected, the last one, that is the third category, has a higher height. The same goes with the memory. The algorithm that I've used here is KNN algorithm. That's a machine learning algorithm. So basically what it does is, there is a new data point that is in blue color here. We have to classify it either in category A or either in category B. So what do we do is that we find the distances between all the data records, and we classify K to be some integer. For now, we'll consider it to be 3. So it's going to take the 3 closest neighbor to my new data point. So if you can see, these 1, 2, and 3 are the closest neighbors of my new data point. So it's going to see the maximum class in which the nearest neighbors lie. And here you can see the 2 greens we have. So the majority wins, and the new data point is classified as category A. So this is the basic algorithm that I have used for classification. Here I have used the testing data from Kaggle, and I'm going to show you some practical session. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Melita, your screen is visible.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
So here, this is my testing data. So as you can see, these are the features that I was saying: battery power, Bluetooth, dual SIM, 4G. So all of these are the features which I need in my phone, and I need to predict the price according to these features. So as you can see, now I have written the code here, and here if I run this df predicted price, I have got my price predicted based on the input that I have fed. So this was what I had got. My model gave me an accuracy of 93%, and anyone willing to buy a phone and wants to have a rough estimate of the mobile price can use this model. Thank you. This was Melda Pacheco, and this was my project.
Thank you, Melita. That was indeed a wonderful project. Actually, I quite didn't expect so much data to be collected from mobile phones itself. But as long as it helps us humans make progress, significant progress, it is quite a good project indeed. So we thank you for your project, and we'll move on to the next project.
Artificial intelligence is providing immense improvements in the field of medicine. So with AI, we can basically reduce manual work and get faster and much more efficient and accurate results without human error. So machine learning techniques are being developed to predict if a patient may have fatal diseases such as cardiovascular diseases or cancers or various other diseases. So the patient can begin with their treatment at earliest. The algorithm that I've used is Random Forest Classifier. It is a supervised learning algorithm. Here, the training data is split into samples with replacement, and decision trees are constructed based on them. And then based on the majority prediction of the trees, we get the final output. The dataset that I've used is a USI heart disease dataset. So now let's begin with the implementation. So first, let us import the various libraries like NumPy, Seaborn, Pandas, and then let us have a glimpse of our data set. It has 270 rows and 14 columns, so it's a relatively small data set. And here we can see that the heart disease says if it is present or absent. Now we shall check if there are any empty values, and thankfully our data set does not have any empty values, otherwise you would have to get rid of them. Now let us visualize number of patients having the disease and not. As you can see, there are 150 patients with the absence of the disease and 120 with the presence of the disease, sadly. And here we have visualized the data. So now basically that column that says presence or absence needs to be encoded because our model requires that the values to be numeric. So we encode presence as 1 and absence as 0. And here we have the modified data set. And here this is just a brief visualization of the correlation between the values. You can see this with the help of this heat map. So basically, closely they're correlated. Now it's time to split the data. So we split the data into a training set for the model to learn and a test set. So my training set is consisting of 75% of the data and the testing is 25% of the data. Now we perform feature scaling to make sure that all the data and the different columns are somewhat within the same range. And now we finally build the model, and we use random forest classifier from sklearn. So our model training score of accuracy is 0.99 and the testing is 0.8, which is actually not very good, and we have to work on that. So now let us just visualize what our predictions are. We shall use a confusion matrix to see this. So we can see over here that there are like 37 classified as absence of disease. These are correct, and 19 are correctly classified as presence of disease, but 3 are wrongly classified as having disease, while 9 are wrongly classified as not having disease. So basically, we can conclude that there is potential in machine learning models to make predictions regarding the presence or absence of these diseases, but our model isn't perfectly accurate. It has still made a few wrong predictions. I mean, in like over here, it seems fine, but when we apply it to real life situations, these errors could prove to be fatal. So if a patient is wrongly classified as not having a cardiovascular disease, it could prevent them from receiving treatment. So we have to work hard and find better models or improve our training and ensure that the results are extremely close to perfect accuracy. Thank you very much. And I just want to thank you for being given this opportunity. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tamara. That was a wonderful project, and you're very welcome for having this opportunity. We will now move on to our last student from data analytics, Ms. Ria. Please, can I have Ms. Ria go ahead and present the screen and tell us what the project is about? Thank you.
Good evening to everyone. I'm Sahana. I'm studying BTech IT third year. Here is my topic is about cyber security analysis. Here I'm using Kali Linux for the social engineering attack. Here it's opening. Here I'm going to do the online sections. Yeah, it's open. Sorry for this inconvenience, sir. Delete. Kali Linux is using for hacking purpose. Most of the hackers using these Kali Linux.
Are you facing any difficulties
Yes, sir,
with
it's
internet?
open. Yeah, here I'm going to choose exploration tool. From this exploration tools, I'm going to choose the social engineering toolkit. Hereafter it will open. I'm going to give why. Here the menus are open. From this, I'm going to choose social engineering attack. After this, I will choose a website attack vector. From these methods will open. In this method, I'm going to choose the traditional harvest exploration method. After choosing these, the three templates will open: search likes, web templates, site cloner, and custom builds. From this, I'm going to choose first one, which means is web template. After opening these, I need a IP address, which is the hacker of the IP address. After I enter these, the templates will open like this: Java require Google's or Twitter. From this, I'm going to choose Google template. Here the will open. From this, I will go and type my password. Yeah, here my is open. I'm going to give just username as well as and password. Here you can see this password. Here the output is my email ID is uis@786 and my password is hello. This is the output of my project. Thank you for spending your precious time with me.
Very good.
No worries, Anna. Thank you very much for.
And thank you for this I'm sorry for this
No.
inconvenience.
No worries, Anna. That's not a problem at all. But thank you for sharing your idea with us. It was quite indeed very valuable, and how to prevent ourselves from social engineering, right?
So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And I would love to see, in future, if we can have some of these courses developed on Intel platforms. But nevertheless, this is amazing. And thanks a lot to all of you who presented. And, just as I mentioned in the beginning, please remember two things. You know your value and don't let others determine it for you. And the second thing is, anytime you get a chance, please support and help somebody else who's on the similar journey. It could even just be a simple word of encouragement, right? So thank you so much for having me here.
I'm just going to volley that back to you, and thank you for giving us your valuable time with us. And I'm just glad that you enjoyed the presentation with us. And for students, you will be receiving your certificates over email as soon as possible. So more information on that on the group. And I'll just let Uday give us his vote of thanks for the presentation, and we'll wind up from there. Thank you.
So Sweta ma'am, we start off with the good news. So the next course is going to be on VLSI on Intel platform. So this is going to be a more intense program. It's going to go for multiple sessions with an idea of offering internship for students at Intel and Intel's BUs. So it's going to be more of a career-oriented program, identifying the best of talent and giving them the opportunity of the lifetime. So this evolved and now going to the next level. So thank you so much. Thanks for Intel's trust. And as always, we'll deliver our best and make sure the foundation knowledge is strong in all the students. So for us, it is all about just our vision, mission, everything. Our passion is just making students future ready, because the future needs talent. And we make sure that we get talent early. Yes, ma'am, please.
I'm very happy. I am so glad to hear that. In fact, I do travel to Chennai, so if there is a chance to meet up some of the students or the facilitators in person, I think that would be great. I'll talk to the team here to see if some of that is possible. But I'm overall very, very thrilled. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Our pleasure. Heartfelt thanks to everyone at DIYA. So just like you rightly said, I'm also joining for the last part. So just been in the start and the end. So in between, it is our team that has done a wonderful job. So my heartfelt thanks to the team from DIYA who has made sure that we've had the learning outcomes achieved. And special thanks to Charu ma'am, Siri ma'am, for making sure that such a wonderful course is crafted, because they are the ones who vetted and finalized the curriculum, what has to go to the students. So thank you so much for your effort and constantly making sure that we are on track and making things possible for the students for a better future. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, students. Though we come up with the course, it is your learning that makes all our effort matter. So it is very delightful to see that all of you have taken in so much, and it is evident from the presentations how much has gone through. And that is what is critical for any mentor, any teacher. Seeing a student present like this is what makes all our effort worth it. Thank you so much for all your effort, wonderful presentations, and making this evening wonderful. Once again, wishing you all a happy new year for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Ugadi. So
Thank you.
have a wonderful year ahead.
Happy
Thank you,
Ugadi.
Sweta.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you, students. We'll let you know further course of action.
Thank you, ma'am.
Program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank
you,
you, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, students.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you, sir.